fellow here, Steve Hughes. He's the CEO of Carube
Copper.
Carube Copper, ticker CUC. Steve's been all over the world. He's been involved in all aspects of mining, copper, gold, etc. Steve, welcome to the show.
Ed, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So I know you've been on TV in various places of the world, London, England, and wherever, right?
Yeah, I worked for, my previous company was Asia Met Resources, so I was constantly doing podcasts for them.
And was that sold?
Yeah, no, it wasn't sold. They're doing a bankable feasibility study on it now. That's going to be a secondary copper oxide project in central Kalimantan.
Yeah. So you know, a year ago, I really wasn't paying attention to copper. Then I met Steve Dunn, and we started looking at, you know, the electrification of the world. Started looking at a lot of different things. It looks like, you know, copper's going to be, and everybody you talk to almost says copper has to get a lot more expensive.
Look, I agree. You got Rio Tinto. You know, they've got delays in their projects. Antofagasta and BHP, lower production. Freeport's going to shut down the Grasberg mine. That's coming at the end of this year.
That's a big mine?
That's a big mine. It's the first largest gold mine in the world, and probably about the third or fourth largest copper mine. And
where is that in?
So that's in Papua, Indonesia, where
so your area.
I used to be there for 23 years.
Right.
So that once that's shut down, that's going to take off about 350,000 tons off of the market.
And you know, as we say, everything points to higher copper prices. In the last 3-4 months, copper's been doing nothing but going south.
Yeah, I think it's because you have all this conflict between China and the United States.
Tariffs.
A lot of tariffs, uncertainty.
Yeah.
So that's never a good thing for mining.
Saber rattling.
Yeah, who's got the bigger saber?
Who's got the bigger balls?
Yeah, who's got the bigger balls? In this case, Trump's trying to prove he does.
Yeah.
But once that's settled, and you know, I'm pretty confident that's going to get settled either this year or let's say early next year. Copper has to go up, and because the demand is there, but the supply is not. That's going down. Demand's going up. Supply's going down.
You know, I've talked to Steve, and I have bought a lot of Crown, and this isn't really about Crown, but it's about copper. And I didn't realize it, but I guess if a lot of hospitals are built today, they're going to put copper in some of the shelving and door handles, railings, because bacteria is killed on contact with copper after a while, right?
That's right. They're doing a lot of studies on that, and you got the electric vehicles. All piping in new buildings. You got expansions everywhere. Look at Oakville. I mean, you got massive expansions everywhere, and there's copper in all of that.
Yeah.
You know, all of your devices we have around the house, the air conditioning, the fridges, everything has copper.
Yeah. So, there's nothing to replace it either. Like you can use silver, but silver costs. Who's going to do it with silver? You can't afford it.
No, I mean it's look, you can use scrap, right? But it's the demand is always there. It is constantly going up. You see it, and there's no reason to believe it's not going to go up. China's continuing to do their stimulus packages, expansion in Indonesia. You know, all countries are continuing to expand. India. There's going to be a lot of copper use. Copper prices are going up. I predict next year $3 to $4.
And if India follows the path of China, I mean, the need for copper in a place like India with 1 billion plus people.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly. India, China, Indonesia. Indonesia has 300 million people, expanding rapidly.
So where are you focused with Carube? What's your goal there at Carube? I mean, are you looking for raw exploration? Are you looking for drill ready? Are you looking for you want to be a producer, or you want to find things and sell them?
Yeah, look, we got about. I think we got probably about 30 projects in the tenements we have in Jamaica. We're focusing on the main ridge right now. That's a gold project we found. We're found up to 19 grams per ton in rock chips.
Has it been drilled yet?
Not been drilled, but there's a mine to the southeast, and that was about 750,000 tons at running about 20 grams. That's a historic mine, no longer active. But we're right along trend to that northwest, and we're also looking to the southeast of that. And we're trying to tie that all up, do our work on the ground, which we're active right now, get it all in together, model it up, and then we'll target for drill delineation.
Yeah. Now there's been some pretty good activity in BC lately, Golden Triangle, and I see there's been I'm pretty sure somebody put out a report the other day saying that GT Gold, I think they got a $6 target on that. Like, you've seen some of the results. I know we had a chat. What do you think about GT Gold?
Look, I reviewed what they've done to date. It's very impressive for a deep porphyry. That's the grades are very high. Just, you know, looking at what they've hit, how they've stepped out, there's potentially 300 to 600 million tons there with good gold and copper. It's a very good discovery and good for Canada.
And that stock's what's sitting around about 75, 80 cents?
Yeah,
I can put it up here.
I think it's $1.75 now.
So are you discouraged at all with the price of copper, or do you think it's just a blip? You obviously.
Oh no, I'm not really discouraged in it because I believe in it, right? I believe copper's going to come back. So anyone that's, you know, actively exploring for copper right now, like we are, we're also actively, you know, looking across the globe to pick up additional copper assets, will do well over the coming year. Things are going to change, and so long as your property is worthy of drilling and is potentially mineable, I believe next year that there'll be a significant turnaround in the business.
Right. How many shares do you have in Carube? Do you?
Roughly about 1 million I own, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, how many shares outstanding?
The company is, I think there's roughly about 250 million shares.
Okay.
So our market cap was around 10 million, a little over 10 million.
Sure. And it's no secret to say it hasn't been fun for junior mining companies.
No, it's brutal. We're at 5 cents.
Yeah, and the longer you know they stay depressed like this, that's also going to impact supply because there's nothing coming on, right?
Yeah, it's a big gap in the exploration. This happened, I believe it was in 1998 and through to 2003, right? There was this massive gap in exploration. And now we're going to go through that again because the companies like us, we find it hard to raise capital unless you have a good asset or a good team behind your project.
Right.
So, you know, it'll put more pressure on the metals, copper, lead, zinc. So, yeah.
Just a matter of time.
It's only a matter of time. It's going up. I mean, I've been looking at, and I've got my statistics here, I've been looking at the average grades of systems in Canada. You can see good mines in Canada are running 0.3 copper, 0.3 gold. And they make is that a porphyry when you say? Yeah, that's a porphyry, and that dirt in the ground runs at let's say $25.
Okay. At
today's prices. Whereas if you have a leach mine and it's running 0.6, that dirt's only about $20 per ton. And then you look at Chile, their average grades are anywhere from 0.5 to 0.7. They don't have a lot of gold, so you're looking at $30 to $35 per ton. So I strongly believe that the new norm is going to be, you're going to be looking at copper deposits over the next 10, 15 years, they're going to be about 0.4 with some credits of silver and gold.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
The low-hanging fruit, there is no more low-hanging fruit, is there?
There's not. There's very few projects around. I mean, I constantly look for acquisition targets, right?
Right.
And they're not easy to find.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff that's in the range of 0.1 to 0.3, very little in the range of 0.3 to 0.6, and almost none above 1%. It's not easy to find good copper assets.
Yeah, interesting. Steve, we're going to leave it there.